Team, welcome back to another wicked episode of Briggs Co, where we are leaving average for Joe. I guess I've been doing this for 5 months now. What? I think I've lost track of how many episodes we're on. I don't even know if anyone listens to this at all. But I guess, all things considered, my kids have something to listen to when I'm gone. Team, welcome back. Another episode of Briggs Co. This week, I brought on Hannah Cam and Shae Bourne. I feel like this episode needs no introduction. They are some stellar comedians, first and foremost. I was truly quite nervous that this episode would be just a runaway and maybe a little bit of 18 plus. So bit nervous that I wouldn't be able to publish it, but we got through it. Team, we got through it. And it is high quality content talking about behind the scenes on set of our favorite projects together, including Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies. But then also some profound insights into what it's like transitioning away from a career in the dance industry and then coming back into it and inviting a balance. This episode was really enjoyable for me, and I hope you will enjoy it as well. Please give a warm, well-rounded applause for Shae and Hannah. And now that we are officially recording, welcome to Briggs Co. Hannah and Shae, this has been a bit of a nightmare trying to schedule. I was trying to chat with your agents and then also trying to chat with your assistants and then my assistant and your assistant. It was a mess.
Our people couldn't get on the same page, but
Our
what?
people are a mess.
And then I was late and blah, blah, blah. It's my fault. I'm so sorry.
What is your
Shae
guys'
actually just
morning?
flew in from her private jet, and so it was a little bit delayed because the weather.
Yeah, my driver was just he took a bit long from the tarmac to get
Shae,
me to work.
Was it straight from the vineyard that you came this morning, or did you
Yes.
wrap up the wine tasting last night?
No, I did a little wine tasting this morning, 7 a.m., and then just
quick.
straight over here. Yeah, had to get it done. They asked me to stay, and I said, no, I can't. I have to do a podcast, so I gotta go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's professionalism right there.
And that's how you do it.
Team. This one came because Hannah and I were just talking about, we referenced Big Booty Mix. You're welcome, big sponsor there. We also mentioned that this whole episode idea sparked because we finished a dance rehearsal, and I think to give listeners an idea, that is how we know each other. Obviously, we have done a couple of jobs together. Sadly, just kidding. And I think my hope out of this episode is just maybe to kind of get an idea of. I've yet to really have a guest come on to talk about like behind the scenes, like of what like crafty looks like, what dress like fittings look like, what skeleton crew is like, and not that we need to get into like the boring stuff of that, but I want to bring some color into that world because that's how we know each other, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
So what I don't really have a layout because I was so wound up about recording with you two. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be an absolute disaster. It's going to be selfish.
No problem.
But
that's what it's meant to be.
But that's why we're here. So let's shoot our shot. I want to first of all lay out the scene. Shae, where are you coming from?
In life or
no? Yeah. Are you in a dark? Shae, are you in a dark place right now, or are you in an okay place?
Oh yeah. So mentally, no, I'm in a great place right now mentally. Physically, I am. Where am I coming? Where am I recording from? I'm recording from my office in Yaletown.
She's a good girl.
Well, I was like, you know
Please.
what? I was like, do I do it at home? Do I do it at work? And I did it here. So here we are.
I actually don't think you had a choice,
And you know
based
what?
on your schedule.
Yeah, based on my schedule, it's like, it's tight.
This
It's
is
tight
true.
today. It's tight. So I said, I guess I will be where I need to be after this. But
Oh, your
no
assistant double
one,
booked you, eh?
I know, no one else is in my office. So I think everyone's still August long weekending, but here
Oh,
I am.
recovering. Well, you
Yeah.
put in that shift and you showed up for work, so
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
imagine. Hey, Shay,
Here,
maybe
Atta
you want to
girl.
dive into your August long a little bit? Was that a good time? Do
oh,
you remember anything?
I had a fabulous, fabulous August long weekend. It was a lot of
Oh,
like, it was my boyfriend's dad's 70th birthday. So he has four siblings, and we all brought significant others. So it was quite a zoo over there, but it was so fun, and that was like the longest I've spent with his family. So it went
Oh my
very
god.
well, and we had the best time ever. And then we bopped over to my family, which is even more of a
Stop.
zoo, and did three
On your
days
private
with
yacht.
them. Yeah. So we just did a little Okanagan bop, and it was the best time ever. Wineries, lake, boats. Yeah,
say no
lots of
more.
family time. Yeah,
That's
it
so
was great.
nice. I miss the Okanagan for that.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And it was so hot. It was like 37 degrees. So like,
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Hannah, what was that area that you told me to go to this summer? I was trying to find it and talk to Devin about it, but I couldn't remember.
It's called, oh wait, Barbara, you might remember it. It's close to Summerland. You got to pass through Summerland, and then it has all the vineyards in that area. Hold on,
Naramata,
just
Yes.
oh, that's the one.
that's where
Ding,
I
ding,
was.
ding.
That's
Oh,
exactly
yes.
where I was, Hannah. Naramata.
So good.
It's
Uh,
Okay.
stunning.
it's the perfect spot if you want to do the whole winery bop
Oh my
because
God, it's amazing.
everything is so close to each other that you really don't need a vehicle. You could just get a little bike or get those good old shoes that we were born with.
Yeah,
Well,
good
okay,
old
so my
walking feet.
thoughts, I have something to ask because you guys are all vineyard winery bopper professionals. Do you take
Yes.
the bike with you or are we walking? What's the deal there?
You
Well, you
park
bike.
the bike.
That's not a
Yeah.
dangerous hazard to like to
Well,
society?
Mm,
I mean, you could probably get a couple wineries in before it's a hazard. Because when you're
Right.
doing, especially if you're
for
only
sure.
doing wine tastings, it's just like little. But
Is it though?
if you're sitting and you like love a bottle of wine, which often you do, and you say, "Excuse me, miss, I would love that bottle on the patio," then you crush the bottle. Then yeah, you probably shouldn't be paying a
Yeah.
bike after that.
Oh,
Oh my
Shae, is
gosh.
this from experience?
Um, from some tales in the past.
Hannah Tam, what did you get up to August long?
Okay. I didn't know this was like I forgot
Oh
about good
yeah,
old
because
Canadian August long.
it doesn't happen for
So,
you. Sorry about that.
no.
Oh, I'm
So I just got
sorry.
back. No, that's totally, you know what? That's totally fine. That's fine.
Did
I,
you and Barry have a date again 3 times per day or
man, oh my God, let me tell you. No, I just got back from a road trip, actually being back in Prince Rupert. My sister bought my car because it's still like a Canadian car and it was just
Oh
going to be
yeah,
too
you
much.
drove.
Yeah. So it was just going to be too much of a hassle to try to import it. So we're like, okay, well, my sister wanted a car. So we drove all the way to Prince Rupert, which was a 4-day drive. And then we just flew back. So I've been
the
back.
girl thought she was getting 100,000 kilometer car and it turns into a 200,000 kilometer
No,
vehicle?
no, it was like just under 80.
Oh, that's actually really good.
It's actually really good because like in the summer when we worked at Cactus at the time, in the summer we actually tried to only bike. So we really did not use our car as often as we probably should have that you normally do in Vancouver. So we just like we just biked or we had a little scooter for our little wedding money. That's what you buy. That's what
Love
you
that.
buy with the wedding money. We bought a scooter, an electrical scooter.
That's
Priorities,
amazing.
baby. Um, okay, this is what I'm thinking, team. Let me know if this will work for you. I want to bring to light some of our favorite behind the scenes
Say it.
projects that we've done. So for me, I already have one. It's Antenna McGee on Grease, but and I want to like give
Wait,
titles
what?
to these projects. So I'm gonna like give my favorite moment with the three of us, which is
Mm-hmm.
a moment on Grease when we were filming Rise of the Pink Ladies. It was a delirious, delirious set of hours. May
Mm.
I emphasize that again? We were given costumes for that era, obviously, and so bless hair and makeup
Oh
for
dear God, I know
gifting.
where we're going here. Yeah.
Bless hair and makeup for gifting the wonderful, talented Hannah Cam with the biggest antennas on her head that you could see from space. And I don't know what channel she was
Hey.
supposed to land on, but any channel you needed that night, we could have absolutely landed on it. So
Oh, with
I
how
want
big
to,
those were, yeah.
those were
Oh
huge.
God,
Those
that I love this.
those were not okay, but it made the night. And okay, so to maybe because each I want both of you to have your own moment of sharing your favorite highlights, lowlights. I know we haven't done like incredible amounts of projects together, but that was definitely one of mine. And then going into that night, I honestly, was it morning, night? I don't even know. But we were so delirious, and we were put into one of the studios in this big space with different tables. And obviously, each one of us took our rounds at Crafties. And I'm pretty sure that we went through maybe 6 or 7 bubblies. Like it was like an
Oh yeah.
obnoxious amount. But then for some reason, I can't remember what the crafty like snack was at that time. I I feel like I
Oh, no
remember
worries. Mine specifically was just the donuts.
it was. That's what I thought it
Yeah.
was because
The donuts to match your antennas.
Yeah.
they brought on like a drive like a truck, right? A food truck or something, didn't they, on that night?
Oh,
It
they
was
did.
it was that, but I'm pretty sure because here I'm a big fan of Krispy Kreme donuts, and I'm pretty sure that's what those were. And they always cut them in half or in quarters, and I'm like, excuse me, I normally have a full donut, so yeah, I came back for like to make sure I got a full donut. So if they cut them in 8 pieces, yeah, I'm gonna ask for 8 small slices so that it's a full donut. Okay?
Oh
Yeah,
my
my mouth is
Oh
god.
watering as
man.
I speak.
Oh my God.
I
God, I love Krispy Kreme.
that was probably well, okay, there's so many, but do you guys have any that come to mind that three of us were working together on, or is there any other sets that you want to
Well, I
bring?
feel like Grease, we had like a couple episodes that were that
We
one,
did. The first
the
one,
antenna episode was great. But then we also
yeah,
had the what were we? Those big machines.
slot machines.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you so much. How
no.
could I forget? We had the slot machine episode. And that is my personal favorite. I do love the
That's
antennas
my
because I
favorite.
have vivid memories of Hannah like licking her fingers and circling her antennas.
Yeah, here, hey, podcast, Briggs Gibbons podcast. If you just want to experience, I just want you all, excuse me, hi everyone. I just want you to close your eyes for a minute here, and you're just gonna imagine that you're in good old in the Grease movies. You're thinking polka dotted skirts. You're thinking all this big hair, and just think this little Filipino 5'2" woman with these two binocular of a hairdo, and I'm just slicking my fingers and twirling them inside of
No,
those antennas.
mid shot too. Like not when we're just off camera. Like we're fully on. We are rolling. We are
At
rolling. Camera
3:30
B,
a.m.
camera A, B, and C are on, and Hannah.
Absolutely. I,
And I'm trying to not laugh. There's so many times I was like, "Oh my god, I can't." They can't use that take because I'm peeing my pants in the corner, like laughing. But then they in fact did probably use that take. I have not actually
oh,
watched it, so who's to say?
same.
Yeah, I
Actually, no,
think
I have.
we can't even watch it anymore.
No, we can't. I
No,
know. I think I
you could
tried to
watch.
find that, but yeah.
You could watch the music video. You can't watch the shows, but you could watch the
Um,
music video, and that's where that's where I
that's where
come
you.
live.
There we go. That's where she shines.
Was there episode or not episodes? Was there work that you two did together, like early work that you two did together, that comes to mind? Because you guys have had a longer relationship together than us three.
We
So
have, but I
yeah.
only think I think Greece might have been. No, wait.
Did we do some cheerleader thing together? No, we didn't.
No, I actually think Greece was our first one because we've been saying that
Oh
how
yeah.
we've been wanting to be on set together for so long because every time when Barbara and I are together, you just know it's chaos.
Oh, it's absolute
And
chaos.
yeah, but
Yeah.
for some reason we just haven't worked together until Greece. And like, when
Oh
was
my
that? That was like, yeah,
God.
that was
Is that
so long
maybe
ago
like
now.
maybe casting is well aware maybe of that relationship or
That is not a mistake.
Honestly, 100%. That's definitely why.
I'm
like
trying
just
to think,
huge
was
red
there
flags?
something?
You
I
what?
feel like we're missing something. There's got to be something else, Hannah, but I can't think of it right now.
I can't think of it either because that was already so long ago, and I think being on set, it must have been Greece for the first
I
time.
also just feel like me and you just spent so much time together between like working together at Cactus and then like Source and stuff that it maybe just feels like we work together on set more, but we just
Totally.
work together in other fields.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
Yeah. Well,
actually
that's
a
the thing.
really, I feel like a good point to make is how small, and this is, I think it's well known, but just to emphasize it again, how small the world is, and like specifically the dance industry, because you two obviously didn't grow up dancing together, but you met through your training at the Source in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Hannah, you came from Prince Rupert. Shae, you came from Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver,
Yes.
born and raised.
And then you met each other 17 years old, 18 years old
Yeah, in 2015 we
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
at the Source, and so you did your, post high school pre-professional program together. And
Mm-hmm.
then did you both realize, Hannah, I know you went back for a year and then came back because you knew you missed out the industry and really wanted to
Yeah.
pursue it. Shae, did you know automatically that you wanted to pursue a career in the industry, or did you also take sort of like a gap year?
No, I mean, after high school, I actually ended up doing a program at Millennium in LA for like 6 months. They have this, I can't remember what it's called now or if they even have it anymore, but I went like this September after I graduated high school, spent like until February in LA, basically like training. And to be honest, that when I came home from that, I was like, oof, I don't know if I can do this. Like it was just like a lot, and I was so young, like I was 18, and I was like, this is a crazy, crazy world. What's she doing? And so then I came home and I was like, I gotta make some money. I gotta get a job. So that I got a job at Cactus and didn't dance for like a couple months, but then the Source audition came up. I did the Source audition at the same time as doing the Source audition. Cactus offered me a position opening up the Toronto location. And in August,
Oh.
I was debating. I was like, I was about to move to Toronto to open up the Cactus location there, but then I got into Source and I was like, okay, I can't just like not try to dance. Like, I gotta give it a shot. So then I ended up doing Source, but I was like super, super close to just like dropping it all and just going into like the restaurant industry. I'm super happy I didn't do that. Holy moly. But so I did Source and that's where I met Miss Ham Cam. And then I brought her into the Cactus gang.
Yeah.
Isn't that
This is actually
wild?
true.
Like
Like,
Yeah.
we
how
have
I
this joke that like Shay led me to Matto.
Yep.
right, your husband, because that's where you
Yeah.
two met.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. Wait,
Yep.
that is
Yeah.
though. So I think it's always so like interesting to hear those pivotal moments that at the time you don't, I think, realize. Like there's an extent to which you realize it, but there's like huge moments in your life where it's like, do I go to the right or do I go to the left or do
And
I
it
go
could
up and
change,
down?
Mhm.
and it changes everything, but you don't notice until like 10 years later, and you're like, whoa.
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it happens more. I mean, these moments always happen throughout your life, but
Yeah.
I think what are your thoughts on like how drastic they are when you're younger? Like those they almost feel a little bit more impactful, I would say, just because you have, especially as a dancer, you either, there's what are your options? You go to school, you can, take a leap year. I'm talking like after studio world, after that
Yeah.
competition
Yeah.
world.
I mean,
There's
I feel like it's It's so hard, and there's no right answer, in my opinion. Everyone has to. If, I feel like going back to what you just said, Briggs, it's like you can go left, you can go right, or you can stay straight, and neither of those options are wrong. But you definitely will see, like later on in life, like, oh wow, if I did that, I would have ended up somewhere completely different. But everyone's meant to take their own path. I do
Totally.
think like the options are limited. They're pretty
Yeah.
limited. Um, I see a lot of people go. I don't see a lot of people, I think, take a year and come back. Like Hannah, I think, is like an anomaly for that because I
That's
feel like,
so true.
do you know what I mean? Because often people do that and then they're like, okay, see a sister, I'm good to go. Like you
Well,
kind of find something else in the meantime and like you take it and run. Or like a
well,
lot of
that's
people
the
end up
thing,
going
right?
back
Yeah.
to their studio and teaching at their like home studio because
And that's
like
exactly what I did.
totally,
Like
because you have a
my
relationship there.
yeah, I have a relationship. Like funny enough, like Madison's dad was just like, "Oh, she's moving back home into her home studio, and she's stable there. Like, ain't no way she's coming back." Because
Totally.
I told Maddo like, "Okay, I'm moving back for a year, but like my plan is to move back to Vancouver eventually." And then he's like, "Okay, sure." And his dad was like, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen." But yeah, even within just like the 6 months of being there, that's when I was like seeing the auditions online that I'm just like missing, and I can't because obviously it's a small town. It's not like I can find subs. Their sub that they're gonna have is like 12 years old. Like I'm
Yeah.
the only person that can really like teach at that studio. So like that's when I was like, I cannot wait for this year to be over. And I loved teaching. That was my first time teaching at my home studio ever. So like I love that, but that really did make me realize it's like, no, I want to be more in the TV and film industry or just like the dance industry more.
Totally.
What would you say then if, like, for me, I have my reason for always trying stuff like that's new is because I get terrified at the thought of not doing something and having that regret after. Is
Hmm.
there something like, do you guys think about it like that, or do you just sort of unconsciously make these decisions without thinking about the repercussions? Like,
I feel like I think more like that
Sometimes.
breaks where I'm like,
Yeah.
if I don't do this, am I going to regret it more? Like, well, and then
Yeah.
also like, what's the worst that could happen? My thing was
yes.
always like, um, if you don't go, you end up exactly where you are right now. So is that so bad? Like, if you don't get what you're going for, you're just exactly where you are now. Like, it's not worse. It's
Exactly.
not. It's maybe not better, but it's like, what's the worst that could happen?
At least you've tried it and now
At
you
least you
know,
tried.
like, okay, that's what I need to do.
And often it is a no, and you do end up in the same spot, but it's like nothing bad happens to you. And if you can
No.
just set your ego aside, I think that's the biggest thing with people
Yeah.
in this industry and like entertainment in general. It's like everyone's ego is so big, which is just what happens over time in this industry. We're very like, it's about appearance, about all these things. Like, I totally get it. I've been there too. And like, but I do think to learn how to like quiet your ego down is probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned over the last 10 years.
A
Yeah.
It's just like,
hundred percent.
it's not about, yeah, it's just not about that all the time. And
Well, and
things always work
also
out.
you start to analyze who is the ones that are continuing to get booked, and it's not even just in this industry, because I've started to
Oh
dabble
my
No.
God,
obviously
yes.
heavily into like entrepreneurship and business, and at Shae, like even with you and real estate, and Hannah with you and the hospitality and the fitness
Yeah.
industry, like you start to realize that the higher up you go in terms of that like ladder, you begin to realize like people actually at the top don't have an ego as much. Like, all there's clearly
Yeah.
some people that do still, but the more
Yeah.
you sort of scale that ladder, you have to drop your ego, because you have to be a people person, you have to communicate, you have to
Oh,
be open.
100%.
Totally.
And I feel like I wish I learned that sooner, because I would walk into these rooms with like, internally I'm like, oh shit, 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 like I'm scared, I'm nervous, what the heck, I'm not supposed to be here. But I would like throw this mindset on of like, nope, I'm supposed to be here, I'm the best in the
Yeah.
room, like very
Yeah.
sort of like my nose was kind of just up a little bit, and I wouldn't be the person that I genuinely was, because I thought I had to be sort of a little bit cold, like a little bit.
Hmm.
It was just a chip on my shoulder that I had. And I know not everyone had that, but when I was younger, I was just so, maybe it was my competitiveness, I don't know, but I wish I knocked that down so that I could really build relationships sooner, because when you build a relationship, the ripple effect of that is
Oh my gosh.
tremendous.
It
Totally.
matters.
It matters so much. Yeah.
Like it, yeah, that was probably something that I was reflecting on lately the most, because as I age, I start to go like, oh, I know somebody in that industry. Let me connect with them. Oh, you have a question for me? Let me connect you with this person.
For
And I think
sure.
that's so helpful as you sort of, navigate through this world, this crazy world. I had a few things written down, not anything crazy, because I knew that this would be a wacky, weird episode, which is so cool. Do you guys like quote unquote the hustle, or like the grind, like that constant back and forth between jobs, the you know the avail checks, like, and I think for listeners, you get, if you're on with an agent, you get these emails that are availability checks, and it's pretty much just like checking your schedule to see, because there's a potentially a choreographer or casting director that wants to hire you for a role.
Yeah.
And so you have to, at that point, then clear your schedule and make sure you're available at like a drop of a dime.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of this beast, is like just being up and down, here and there, available at the beck and call. I'm wondering if you guys like that, or if you're like, that's probably one of my least favorite things about this.
No, I love it. It brings me such like a, because like obviously you never know when your next job is going to be. So at least like for me, if I see that email that says availability check, I'm kind of like, I don't care. Like maybe now it's a little bit different because now I'm in LA, so there's a lot of more things that I need to think about. Like flight, is that actually going to be worth it? How many days is it going to be on set or rehearsal? Like those I now have to think about. But at the time in band, it's just like, no, yeah, I'm available. And then, but the craziness is having that good relationship with your other job as well, still, because obviously, if you're scheduled for the whole week and then you have to be gone now for that whole time on set, it's like, I promise you, I will be back. And I just want to make sure we still have a good relationship so that I still have a job after this dance gig, you
Totally.
know? Because that matters as well if you want to, like, at least for me, I always needed to make sure I had another job on the side in order to make a living. And so,
And
like,
the bulk of people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And like, like my boss always used to tell me, and now I always say it, is that like my priority will be cactus or now berries or solid core, whatever. But when I have dance, that is my number one priority. And like, I will do anything to make sure that works. But what can I do to make sure I'm not putting you under the bus and like not
Mm-hmm.
just coming into work? I always make sure I have a good relationship with my boss as well to make sure it's like, this is what I want to do. So please understand that, so that if a job does come up, what can we do together to make sure that like your like my that restaurant is not going to be into on like on
In
fire.
shambles.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good mindset to have, and like a very like mature way of looking at it. And that's not a
Mhm.
lot of people that do. People are. I think when you're young, it's definitely harder because you just obviously like you want to claw your way in, and we've all been there where you're just like, I don't care who I screw over, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave my other job. You know, like we've all done it.
Yeah.
But I think the older I get now, like getting closer to 30, just the hustle, like I get the hustle. Like I think there's a different word that I want to use for it now, and I don't have it in my brain, but it's like you have to work hard. But I feel like I got it to a point, I can't remember when it was maybe like 2022, honestly. And I was like dancing there was like 2 years I was dancing full time. I had no other job. And, excuse me, I hit the level of burnout that I've never experienced in my entire life just because I'm a very like high stress person. Like my energy is very chaotic, like on a day to day basis. And I feel like the industry just like brings that part of me out more. And I was hitting like fight or flight like 24/7 for like months and
Right.
months and months.
Totally.
And that caused me to burn out. And I feel like when I was like so the sickest I've ever been, like probably should have been in the hospital, but luckily I had people like taking care of me, like could not leave my bed. And I feel like when that happened, I was like, okay, I need to slow. There has to be a balance. Like there has to be a level of like
Hmm.
because I am a hustler and I know that I'll work hard and I'll do everything I can to like get that job or like book that thing or work with this person
Yeah.
or whatever. But then it's like at what cost? You know, like
Yeah.
at the cost of my health, like no, absolutely not. So now it's just like if I need to rest, I'm still working on this, but it's like not feeling guilty to like saying no to something. That's like the
Actually,
hardest thing
that's so
ever for
true.
me. And
Yeah.
now I'm like the last couple of years I definitely have learned to say no, but I'm also like transitioning into a new career, so it's been like I have one foot in, one foot out. So it's a bit different for me, but even like transitioning into this new career, it's the same thing. It's like I have to claw my way in. And now I'm like back in that hustle mentality, but then I'm trying, I feel like I have a better outlook on it where I'm like, hey, I can hustle, but I can like rest and I can do things that I like to do and I don't have to burn myself out doing it.
I think those are really good points. I also just think, like, as you were saying all that, if you're working for longevity, like if you're, trying to have a career in this sort of industry, then you have to be able to find a balance to some extent. And everyone's scale is different. So, like, Shae, what you were able to do and tackle is going to be different than what Hannah's able to tackle and do. And
Oh,
it's
For
going to be
sure.
different of like what I'm going to be able to tackle and do. And I think that sometimes, like, you have to find some sort of model for you to reference. Like, as you grow up and mature, you have to look at, points of reference to be like, okay, like this person's doing that. So let me start to build my schedule looking like that at some, to some degree. But then as you start to really build like up those credits and experience and you build, start to build a name for yourself, you have the ability, and you should actually take a step back like you did, Shae. And maybe it should have been a little sooner, but you never know until it happens.
mm-hmm.
To really go like, okay, here's my skill set, here's what I can do, here's my energy levels, and if I want to produce quality work, then I have to make sure my energy levels and batteries are fully charged. And if you're not
Yeah.
fully charged and not, at least somewhat balanced, then you're going to start to overcompensate, I think, in some areas. And that's when it starts to get risky, because I used to take on jobs that really didn't pay off. Like, they didn't add
Yeah.
anything. And it's not even just like they didn't add anything to my resume, but like I didn't find any quality relationships from there, because at this point in my career, I actually look forward to jobs where I'm just like, okay, who's on that project? Who can I connect with? Because
Absolutely.
I actually just love the relationships that are a part of this industry. That human connection. And I think everyone, looks for different things depending on the projects they accept. But I think it's really important, as dancers and any sort of entertainer starts to really build a name for themselves, is to just, set markers as to when you should reflect at a macro perspective and look
For
at,
sure.
your levels. Not to get like too serious or deep into that, but it's easy to burn out. And Shae, thank God, like, you checked in on that.
Yeah, and I think Jen O said this to me once, but she was saying like deciding on if you want to work on a project, you have to have two of these three things: project, people, pay. And like you can't get all three sometimes, but like you got to have at least two. And I think that really
Mm-hmm.
like changed the way that I thought about stuff too. Because I'm like, okay, like if you're not getting paid, which sometimes you're not getting paid awesomely in this industry, and but it's like, are the people good and is the project cool? Like, do you
Oh my
love
God,
that? Do you
yes.
love those people and do you love the project? Then that's fine. You can take a little cut on the pay, because like we kind of said earlier, or Briggs said this earlier, it's like you never know who you're going to work with. That's going to change the course of your career too. So it's like if the people are great and the project's great, still do it.
It's
But like
true.
Yeah.
if you don't like the people and you don't like the project, but the pay is really good, like you're gonna have to either be okay with that, like walk in knowing that you're probably not gonna have the best time ever for how many days you're on set, but like you're getting paid. So I feel like you just have to be able to like
Think of those
justify
three.
or think of those three
Yeah.
things and then make your choice. Like, and understand that again, there's no wrong decision, but like you're making the choice based off of those factors.
Yeah.
Um, I know that last time we were on a job, which wasn't how many months was that? A couple months ago now, I guess.
I guess
Oh my
so.
God, I think so.
We were bonding over Big Booty. We were also bonding over what were we having? Oh, McD's.
McDonald's
You
Diet Cokes.
Well, I
but
think the
Hannah,
best
no,
part.
Hannah ordered
What?
something major. Hannah
She
ordered
ordered.
something major, and we just
Okay,
need
well,
to maybe
for
offer it
sure.
to the listeners.
Yeah, so we were on our way home, and I think Barbara, you just made that quick decision to make a sharp right turn. We're like, guys, we're going to McDonald's.
I need a Diet Coke
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah. I've never experienced that before, where somebody has drove through the drive-through just to get a Diet Coke. I think you even got like just this, like
It's an addiction. It's fun.
I fully was prepared to order like a full meal, and then you two were just like, yeah, Diet Coke, and I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, my
Hi,
order.
never mind. I'm skinny.
Yeah, So yeah, then I ordered okay, this is my go-to. Oreo McFlurry with caramel. And Briggs, you've never had that before, but like
Never
I
had that before either. It's
oh
crazy.
maybe it's a good old printer thing.
Oh, bless. But how did
It
you order
is.
it?
Oh,
Because what do they do?
they still give it a good big booty mix in the cup
Oh my
with the
God.
caramel so that each bite you get a little bit of the Oreo crumbles and then a little bit of the caramel, and it's just wow, my mouth is watering once again. I might be hungry, but
It needs
Um,
a McD's run.
hey,
yep.
speaking of food, Hannah, you're in the States now. What is your go? Are you a Trader Joe's girl?
Oh, I am through and through. It is so hard not to spend like $50 every time. And now that I don't have a car, it's even harder because I forget sometimes and I'll like have these like two big bags and then I'll have to walk 20 minutes home and it's like 40 degrees and I'm like this is a big mistake, but I guess we're doing it. And when I get home, so worth it. Like
Worth it.
I'm
Absolutely.
I am in heaven at Trader Joe's.
Um,
Like, whoa, right from Trader Joe's? That's gotta hit different.
Oh my god, I love that.
salt and pepper shaker. Oh, hang on, that's
Hey, if
happening.
it's from Trader Joe's, so it's gonna be top notch.
Um, okay, Hannah, I know that you're in LA now and you're starting to audition. And okay, so the reason why I brought up our last job is because we all three sort of reconnected a little bit and kind of gathered what direction we were starting to go into. Hannah, you were starting to
Hmm.
really look into some specific auditions, and I don't know if you want to bring
Yeah,
it up or not, but have
like,
you started to explore more of those, live entertainment auditions?
I'm getting there. Like, honestly, the whole because we weren't sure on when we were moving to LA, I probably should have been better with my money and actually planned for the future. But because it kind of happened all so fast, like I think it was like all of a sudden we got the approval and then 2 months later we had to be like okay, I think we have to move, like we have to like it was just like a crazy process and it happened really really fast. So my plan is to, yes, like still try to find an agent. I just like you guys probably like, yeah, Shae, you've been here for a year or 6 months, but you are headshots and everything and like headshots, body shots are just so different here than what they expect to Canadian versions. Like, so mine, I love my headshots, but I've talked to other people here and they're like, it's cute, but I would suggest
Oh,
getting new headshots. And I'm like,
Interesting.
okay, yeah. And so like, right now, I'm just working my ass off with just trying to save up so that I can
Mm-hmm.
just get everything together and just be like, okay, here, I'm ready and I'm good to go. Cause I do want to start a family soon. And like, while I can, I do want to go hard in the dance industry until I start my family. But yeah, like all right now I'm just like constantly taking dance classes at Millennium and stuff. But at the same time I'm working at Barry's and then I actually, you guys don't know this, I got hired to start coaching at Solid Core. And
Yay!
yeah, so like
Awesome! Keep it.
she's now a fitness girly pop.
she
So
really
yeah,
is.
she no, I since moving here, I love fitness so much. But yeah, so people that are listening, like if you don't know what solid core is, if you know what Legree is in Vancouver, that's pretty much the same thing, just like yeah, different
So,
company name.
so it's Pilates reformer machines.
Exactly. Yes.
So exciting.
You get to
Yeah.
update that LinkedIn profile.
Oh, I will. I actually start my
Updated,
like first day
baby.
of training tomorrow. So
Oh my god,
I'm
amazing.
excited. Yes, I'm
Congrats, you
so
little
stoked.
snatch girly. You just
I
said,
did not think that was gonna be my plan coming here. All I knew is that I didn't want to do the restaurant industry because that's all I ever did. So then moving here, I'm like, okay, because the restaurant industry really took a toll on me, like mentally, physically, and everything. So I was like, I've always wanted to do something in the fitness industry. So I was just like, well, I'm here. I'm starting something new. I might as well try. Yeah. So then that's when I got into berries. And then from there, I was like, I love solid core. And then they had like an open audition, did that. And I was like, great, here we
boom,
go.
boom, boom.
I'm excited.
That's
She's a
Yeah.
so
new girl.
exciting.
Shae,
Yeah.
are
I'm stoked.
you wanting to can I dig a little on what you're up to, because I know you're starting to do a little bit of
Sure.
a career pivot, which
Yep.
I'm so proud of you both for, like, taking leaps. There's no like graduation from not taking leaps.
I
Like, it's not
know.
like you get to a moment in your life where you're like, oh yeah, I've
I've done
graduated.
it.
Yeah, I've
I've
You
done
can
it
just
passed that
like,
all.
course. It's like, no, you are constantly signed up for that lesson in life.
yep,
Absolutely.
So let's talk about, Shae, your recent pivot and career change a little bit.
Yeah. I think COVID, I mean, I think everyone's career changed to COVID, no matter who you are in one way or another. Um, I just, to be honest, I kind of just can't sit still. And I just was like, I need to do something. I need to learn something. Like, and I did definitely like take a step back and decide what I wanted my life to look like in the future. Like, I'm a very future focused person. So I'm like, what do I want? Like, do I want a family? Do I want all these things? And then I was like, how am I going to get that? And I have a bunch of people in my life that I love who are in real estate. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to sign up for the course and whatever happens, happens. So did it. I now have had my license for a year. It's been like the craziest year, not just like career wise, but just like personal as well. And so I feel
yeah,
like I've had a huge life transition in the last, it hasn't even been, it will be 12 months in like at the end of this month of just like so many changes. So it's been really, honestly, the hardest year of my life, but like also the coolest year of my life. Just like learning so much about myself and like my life just shifting in a direction I never thought it was going to go. So it's really like the career that I have now, it's still definitely building. It's much like dance, like where like you really have to like I said, claw your way in and kind of pay your dues and make very little, but with the potential to like have an amazing life in a couple of years, I think. But
yeah,
I'm with a really awesome brokerage and I have a lot of support here. So I feel like that's what's gotten me through. And yeah, I'm actually starting kind of a new, starting to work with somebody new in my office. Today is actually my first technical day. So I am, yeah, it's very exciting. And I'm excited for that. I think it'll bring good opportunity. And yeah, I'm honestly just like, I get thrown into the weeds in all aspects of life, but you just figure it out.
You
And I
do.
feel like I am
you
on
really
the,
do, Shae.
I'm on the upswing of I've been on the upswing for the last couple months. It was like a downward spiral there for a hot second, but we got out of it. So that's all you can ask for, really.
But
It
you're such a rock star with it, though. Like,
I,
you're,
I tried.
I don't know
I
how
tried
you
to
do
take
it.
it. I tried to take it on the chin. You know, I kind
But
of just
Shae,
say,
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't like emphasize enough, and Hannah, like you making the transition as well, that when you invite change into your life, if you don't expect there to be some collateral damage like that comes with that, and I don't even like to say damage because it's just collateral. Like, you are
yeah,
gonna go through upswings and downswings in your life, and it's a guarantee when you decide to take on new, challenges.
Totally.
And if you don't like wrap your head around that, then you're in for a world of hurt, because I
Absolutely.
think if you can invite it, like look at that challenge and just go like, yes, I see you down the road, like I see you coming up that pipeline and I
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge you, and I'm going to do everything I can to the best of my knowledge and capabilities to tackle you, and I know I'll get through it because I've gotten through everything else. And the reason why I wanted to just emphasize that is because it's also okay, because I've heard from listeners before just to be like, hey, could you bring on somebody that has decided to completely pivot away from the dance industry or entertainment industry. And I think there's this thing about like people don't want to just cold turkey get out of it because they feel like they've just
no,
devoted their life to it. And what does that feel like? Like, what does that look like? What does that make you appear in other people's eyes? And you're just constantly thinking through this. But it is okay for you to take on new things, for you to take
100%.
breaks, for you to pause. Like, that is the beauty of building your own career, your own life.
For sure. And
Um,
I think on that note too, it's like I struggled, part of the struggle of this year was like a huge identity like crisis of being like,
yeah,
who am I if I'm not a dancer? Or who am I if I'm not, or like
that's literally, yeah,
am I selling myself out? Like am I like just doing this because I feel like I'm not going to be successful? And once I like got out of that mindset, because it was all about what other people thought of me. Like once I
yeah.
was like, okay, what is the root of this? It was like, what are other people going to think? And I'm like, but what do I think? Like, what do I actually need? And I actually don't care what other people think. And it took me a really long time to like to get to that point, a lot of therapy too. Like, don't get me wrong, I did not do this on my own. I've been going to therapy since last September. It's truly changed my life. But like, so many changes, like I said. And one of them was because I was having an identity crisis. And what helped me was like, I had a really good conversation with my agents. I told them the journey I was going on. And I'm like, I totally get it if you don't want me like on this roster, if it doesn't make sense. And they were very supportive. And like, I stay on the roster. I do my auditions. And sometimes they have to say no to them. And it's like a nice give and take. But like, when the day
Yeah,
comes, like, I'll like peacefully walk if I want to, you know, but I'm not at the point where I want to walk away from it completely. I also still teach a lot. So I feel like that's like my outlet where it's like I
that's
get to
true. That's
teach, I
your,
get to,
yeah.
yeah, I still teach like 5 classes a week at formation, and like that's been really nice. And it's like if I can do a job, great, but if I can't, I'm also totally fine with that now. But it's like you're
Well,
always going to be a dancer. Like
Yes.
why just because
even
you're not professionally working 24/7, you're not a dancer anymore? Like I just think that's ridiculous.
well, even with the job that the three of us recently did, like Briggs and I knew that we were going to work together, but we only found out that day, and you also found out like the 24 hours before that that you were about to go on this job.
Yeah.
Like you were literally out for drinks and having a good time, and then you got the call, and you're like, yeah, I'm free tomorrow. Where do you need me? What time?
But
Like
Yeah.
you
that's
just
also,
don't
I
know.
think that's also the beauty of like being a realtor as well. It's like I can just be kind of free if it works, you know. Like I said, I don't have
Yeah,
like a full on 9 to 5. Like I'm kind of like, okay, I can come in for like 4 hours, sure. So
yeah,
it for now it's fine. I think they'll get to a point where obviously I'll have to pivot a little harder, but I'm not
totally.
super busy right now, so it works. But it's definitely just like you just have to get over what the industry or society like wants you to be, and just do whatever you need
Hmm.
to do for yourself, especially as you get
Yeah,
older.
Yeah, I can't agree more with all of that. I think we have all of these things in our head that are just non-existent. Like at the end of the day, we just overthink the heck out of things.
I
And
overthink.
it's
Yes,
it's a thing that we need as human beings. It's natural, all of us do it, but it's definitely more in your head than you can ever imagine. But I know that we are kind of coming to an end here with the time. I want to, as I do with all guests, offer some fire round. There, some are yes and no, some are just like would you rather, stuff like that. Are you guys ready for it?
Oh
oh
my
my
god,
God.
I
Okay.
was born ready for this.
I knew you would be. Okay,
Literally.
let's in order of to eliminate the banter that will naturally come from this. We'll do Hannah and then Shae
Okay,
in
Oh my
gotcha.
order.
God.
Okay,
Wait, I'm
so if
sweating.
you could choose between buying a boat or a jet, what would it be?
Jet.
Okay,
Boat.
space or ocean?
Oh, space.
Ocean.
Favorite pastime?
Hiking.
Reading.
Your death row meal?
Hmm. Oh my God. Wait, I'm nervous. In-N-Out burgers.
Ooh.
Chicken fingers and
Burgers.
fries.
If you could go to anywhere on the planet tomorrow, not about money, not about anything like that, where would you go?
Philippines.
Or like the French Polynesian Islands.
Get out of here! Shay,
It
get
looks,
out!
guys, it looks nice.
You're
Come
not
on.
welcome here.
Not expecting that.
No, it's because I met a couple the other day in Whistler as I was sitting at the Fairmont Chateau bar,
I
and
can't stand you.
I was talking to them, and um, they were like, oh, they just got back from their trip to the French Polynesian Islands, and now I'm like obsessed with it, and that's all I want to. That's the only place I want to go ever.
She doesn't even know what's there. She just likes the way it sounds.
No, I know that Bora Bora is there, and that there's nice beaches, and it looks cool.
That
She
sounds even bougier.
meets a couple, and turns out she wants to go to the French Polynesian Islands. Like,
Yeah, I'd love to go. I'd
Oh
love to
my
go
Lanta.
on someone else's dime would be pretty cool, but like I'll pay for it if I have to.
Okay, my last question is if you could get transported into any other era, what era would you go?
oh,
Oh God.
1970s. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Give me Grease. Give me,
Yeah,
hey,
I was gonna say the 60s
I
or
was gonna
something like
say, like,
fun.
yeah, not 70. Yeah. That would
I
be a good old
personally,
time.
because, okay, so I was talking to Devin about this the other day, and we were saying how, what would be your ideal, like, generation that you wish you were a part of? Because I personally think my parents, they were born in the 67,
Yeah,
69.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
they grew up without, obviously, technology, which I feel like there's definitely a lot of benefits from that. But they also grew up like with an experimental world, like
yeah,
very, the
Yeah.
cold hard facts about health and like all of that stuff weren't truly there yet, but they were just very experimental. And I don't know, that would be probably my generation that I feel like had it best, in
I
quotes. I don't know.
agree.
I would agree with that. Like,
Yeah,
it would be nice to not be on my
and
phone
like,
24/7.
and they own homes too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, they
They
could
Um,
can
afford to
afford
buy a
that.
house. That'd be awesome.
as a tear falls down from
Yeah,
Shae's face.
yeah.
Guys, this was a blast for me. Again, this was a selfish episode for myself. I hope I brought you guys some smiles and some fond slash nightmare memories. That's the goal. I also hope that I get to work with you both soon. Maybe just sit down for a nice ice cold beer or a vineyard in the
Yeah,
future.
like what if
Oh,
we just
yes,
went for a
ma'am.
drink at some point? Because I feel like I would love that. We
I
need it.
I would I would love a little Google Meets Zoom date, because our
Oh,
world, our
yes.
the
Yeah.
place we live at isn't necessarily meet at a bar, but we could Google Meets it.
No,
We all live
for
like
sure.
literally like hours and hours away. But yeah, sure, let's do it.
We could all go to a beach, have a glass of beer, and then that's how we enjoy our time together.
I would love that.
Sounds like bliss. Team, thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have a
Thanks,
wonderful
Briggs.
Tuesday.
Oh my God, Briggs, thanks so
This
much.
is awesome. Miss you guys.
Miss you
Oh, miss
loads.
you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Hey, Briggs, Briggs, happy belated.
Oh, happy
Oh,
belated, Briggs.
oh guys, that was so awfully generous of you to think about that. Just slip that in there. Happy birthday, Briggs.
Happy
So kind.
birthday.
Love you
To
loads. Bye,
you.
Love
guys.
you. Bye.
That was so much fun for me, and I hope you enjoyed it just as much. It's always a pleasure getting to work with those two bright lights. I'll be back same time next week with a super exciting guest. You can find more information about this podcast, what I'm up to, how I can be of service to you if I may be so bold. Please check in, send me comments, send me feedback, share who you want me to bring on, because it's an absolute joy of mine to sit down and chat with these industry experts and simply just human beings. So please send me a message on all social media platforms, briggsandco.ca. Team, have a wonderful day. Same time next week. See you there.